Everyone, welcome to another edition of Big Talk on Global Television. It's great to have you tonight, of course, where we'll be taking a look at a sector that is still evolving in the country, not just in Nigeria, in Africa, and in the world. So many times you have a question to ask. Sometimes you wonder where the innovations are coming from, where it's heading to. All of these are what we'll try to unravel today on the discussion that we'll be having with a technology expert who is joining us for the conversation tonight. Is engineer Evali Zege, who is, of course, the tech expert and engineer per excellence. Over time, he has been in the blockchain industry and in the world of tech generally. And, of course, we'll be taking a look at the influence of blockchain and artificial intelligence. What has artificial intelligence done? What has blockchain done in the technology sector? All of this is what we'll try to unravel on the discussion. Good to have you, engineer Evali Zege. Yeah, you already look like a tech savvy. You know, you're dressing, so you're coupling up. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, let's cast a mind back. You know, technology has been so speed, beyond human expectations, and now proud to where we were in technology, what we used to just about devise about phone making calls and all of that. But it seems every day we are interacting with technology. How have we gotten here so fast?
Okay, so the thing with humanity is we evolve very quickly, right? And tech evolves a lot faster than us. I used to use this example a couple of years ago where we were buying SIM cards for 30-something thousand naira, right? These days, people, telecoms try to give it away for free, right? They're basically forcing it into our hands, right? So you can see that the advancement in technology is a good thing for us, right? And that's why it's going to keep advancing. Right? Over the past decade, so the leap in robotics, in engineering has been astronomical, right? There's even fears around a lot of sectors now that need regulation because the technology is going so fast, it's being difficult to control, right? In terms of AI. So, yeah, we're always going to keep evolving because, like I said, we are creatures that love evolution. We love improving ourselves. It's what keeps us on top of the food chain. So, yeah.
Yeah, basically because one will continue to agree that technology have done us some good, in regarding so many innovations that we're having. Let's talk about, because you made mention of artificial intelligence, and of course, so many people do not really understand. People just felt it's about the one in the Snap chat where you just send a message. I mean, you try to get some things done and all of that, basically. And some people are just feeling that it's just a mere word coming into the sector. So many people do not really understand what this has caused. How do we get to the level of artificial intelligence in the world of tech?
Okay, so basically, for starters, AI, like most people call it, right? Artificial intelligence is basically teaching a machine to do what a human being is supposed to do, right? It's used in different ways, either in the physical form in robotics, where you have physical gadgets or gears that are able to carry out what human beings are supposed to do. You have the mechanical coupling arms that couple cars, couple your phones, couple a lot of things, right?
It comes like a human form.
Not human form, yes, they are, right? There's the Optimus, right? The Elon Musk bot that is coming up, right? That is has been in the works for almost 3 to 4 years now, right? And it's only going to keep getting better, right? I myself have worked on, in the past, robotic equipment that have actually been used to solve a lot of problems, right now in the world, in Africa. So basically, AI is supposed to help our life become easier by taking out the jobs that we as human beings find tiring or monotonous, right? It's supposed to take that away and make it a lot easier for us.
All right. The way you are speaking, well, you quite understand that so many of our viewers are trying to unravel to know, the implications, what we can begin to use. You made mention of cars repairs and all of that. Tell us, come back a bit to Nigeria, the environment that we are. How is artificial intelligence, implying in our day-to-day life? How has this aided, some advancement in that sector?
Okay, so I'll take a very simple example, such as the financial sector, right? Artificial intelligence has been used to train models that can understand your spending habits, understand how you gain money, how you spend it, how you regularly utilize money, and it's able to imply that and use it as a credit score, right? So in that way, it's easier for banks, financial institutions to profile you and give you a loan based on a prior spending pattern, a prior spending habit. So they can see that, okay, based on sometimes the AI provides a score, maybe over 1,000. So this person has 800 over 1,000. So it means that the person is credit worthy and the person is going to be able to repay back your loan, or it's going to be beneficial to the establishment as a whole. So that is just one sector where AI has been very helpful. And also for the average man, I feel like here in Africa, a lot of people are not taking advantage of the AI trend, right? Over there in the West, people are making a lot of money from AI. For example, being able to create children coloring books that sell on Amazon. People are doing that and making a lot of money from it, right? But here we have not really looked at it because, in Africa, we tend not to go into what we don't understand, right? We always try to take a step back and be like, okay, let's wait to see what it really entails. And for me, I feel like it's really dragging us backward because AI and by extension blockchain, we have been able to start basically at the same time as the West. It's not like when they were creating mobile phones that were so far behind, we didn't even know what they were doing, right? But we have been given the opportunity to start at the same pace with them, and for fear of growth or whatever the case may be, we have not taken advantage of that opportunity. So, right, like I mentioned, banking, financial institutions, being able to raise money through AI. AI is supposed to do work for you. You're not supposed to be doing anything, right? You can have, as a data analyst, data scientist, AI can actually analyze your data, basically do the work for you, and then you just come to get the refined product out of it, right? So
AI is not doing the job of a data analyst.
AI is even doing the job of, I am a software engineer by profession, right? AI right now is even doing the job of some software engineers, right? Not to the perfect level, because at the end of the day, you need some human element to kind of understand the nitty-gritties of building out a solution for a person. You give me a solution to build, I need to really understand you, know where you're coming from to be able to imply that. But the AI needs you to feed it that information, but it can build the same thing that I can build, right? So there's this fear that, eventually
people are losing jobs.
The jobs are going to
I hope that, as I'm presenting on TV, AI will not begin to have hosting programs on TV. We are also afraid that we don't get there, because I know we'll be coming to the impact this has done. Of course, we quite understand that it's a move, and if it's not well managed, it may have a crisis on the populace, and these are the things that we have to do. You made mention of blockchain. We'll try to touch a bit of scratch, not really in-depth knowledge about blockchain. Tell us, how does blockchain works?
Okay, so the blockchain is basically a distributed ledger technology that allows duplication of data across multiple fronts. So basically, that data that is duplicated cannot be tampered with, cannot be edited, cannot be hacked, cannot be used for nefarious activities. So everything is plain, transparent in the open. And this allows the system to be very safe, very transparent, and that's what really draws people to it. Bitcoin was built, the first blockchain, basically Bitcoin, I think most people know what Bitcoin is, was built to give power back to the people, right? And take it away from the fiat currencies. But we have seen that there's more to the blockchain technology than just cryptocurrency. So we're, as engineers, as developers, as blockchain enthusiasts, we're trying to say, okay, how can this benefit us in the long run? And which is what blockchain technology is trying to do today.
All right. Researchers has that about Nigeria is Africa's largest, in the ICT in Africa, and it means a lot. But when you come down to the country, it seems we're still finding some regulations not really, in line with the expectations of the technology advancement. Do you feel that there is a need for government to begin to set up policies, or are there policies already that are not in any way encouraging the practice of this? Because when you talk of blockchain, so many other things are really, in the blockchain industry. In the financial aid, we've seen some financial organizations coming in on that blockchain. But it seems that still having this back and forth with government. Is it the issue of trust, or is it about government cannot relate with, where the world is actually going to?
Okay, so I think it's kind of a multifaceted issue and requires a multifaceted approach. So I was at a NIDA CBAN event. Basically, it brought stakeholders in the blockchain ecosystem to see how we can actually regulate this and make it safer for the general public, right? There's always this fear that, crypto and blockchain are the same thing, right? So when that happens and, there's a ban on crypto or a ban on blockchain, it tends to stifle the growth of the technology. So it's a good thing that, you know, government agencies like the CBN have actually been taking steps to learn and understand what this technology is, right? And their idea basically is to make sure that this technology is safe for people. A lot of people have been burnt by cryptocurrency, right? They have been burnt by NFTs. So in order to safeguard the general public, the government has taken steps to try to understand this technology and implement policies to safeguard the citizens, which has been going very well so far, I must say, because I've been part of some of the events, and yeah, it's been really going well. And I think in the next couple of years, we won't have any issues or concerns regarding this
Regulations and all of
technology.
that. And now, how do you begin to feel that government can take advantage of the technology in managing, you know, government affairs? Sometimes issues of taxation are still a problem in this country. Some states are struggling to, you know, get that and track all of these. And it seems that the government are not really prioritizing. In some sectors of government, you find some sectors are quite very sad, backward in nature, in practice. I mean, issues of corruption. When you keep on shouting corruption, can technology help us have a bit of, you know, balancing in the system?
Yes, that's there's this aspect of the blockchain that, you know, people have been trying to utilize and are really trying to implement, which is voting. I'm just using that as an example, right? If we build a system using the blockchain to allow people to vote, attach whatever vote that is being cast on the blockchain, where the whole world is able to see it at the time that it's being casted, you know that this cannot be manipulated by any stretch of the imagination. It cannot be tampered with. You know, it gives you that level of confidence that as I'm casting my vote for this person, that vote counts, right? And it's not going to be thrown away somewhere, or it's not going to be utilized for a different purpose. So that's just one advantage of, you know, technology into system. And it's very good that the government has told a lot of parastatals that they must implement technology in their organization, right? And that's been, you know, really helpful to try to push us to the forefront, help us to prevent loss and resource loss, especially because the kind of expenses that are going to, you know, trying to gain what has been lost in your system, in your establishment, is always very, very high. You know, so it's better to, like they say, prevention is better than cure. Better to prevent those issues than to start trying to find solutions for them.
All right. We'll be taking a look at the fact, I mean, shortly after this break, on what, I mean, should we begin to do in order for us to checkmate, you know, the advancement of this technology. What is the digital literacy of Nigerians and Africa? What are those things that we must put in place so that you know, AI will not get you replaced in your job? And what are those things you must begin to do as human? The effort of all of us begin to play. We'll go on a short break right now. Once we return, we'll be taking a look at that, of course, understanding of the fact that these may have a ripple effect on the Nigeria's economy, because I wonder, when your job is being replaced by AI, where will you be? What should we begin to do? You know, and the expert here will be telling us so that you and I will not be scared of artificial intelligence. Don't go away. About the time for still stay with us. We are taking a look at the impact of artificial intelligence, issues of blockchain in the technological advancements that we have witnessed in the world. And of course, back in the country, Nigeria, what are those things that we must begin to do as humans for us to be able to march forward with the technological advancement what we have in? Artificial intelligence is not coming to take away your job, but there are some expectations that we must begin to do. Back to you, Ezeke. What are those things that we must begin to do? Some people are afraid, you know, when you're mentioning that he's beginning to do this, beginning to even do software engineering, and then, I mean, one will begin to wonder what happened to the tech guys and all of that. But then, are there things that we must begin to do? I mean, to engage the system so that, you know, we will not, because when you look at the fact that we are still having high rates of unemployment in the country, and then we are now bringing something. So some people are finding artificial intelligence to be an enemy. So it may seem to be a cultural issue here. So some people are not really appreciating it. They don't want to embrace it. But the reality is what you've stated, that it's coming in to advance. It's coming in to stay. It's not even going anytime soon. So how do we begin to live with AI? How do we begin to live with blockchain so that it will not be an enemy to us?
So I think I have this as a mantra of my knowledge is power, right? And I believe once we're able to take certain steps to learn and to understand that these technologies are supposed to be servants to us, not our masters, it's going to become a lot easier for us to utilize them to meet our goals. Like I mentioned, yes, there are AI technologies that are now trying to replace software engineers, but they cannot replace software engineers fully. It's not possible. But it helps people like us who are engineers to kind of finish up our job maybe 50%, 80% faster, right? So instead of me to write maybe 1,000 lines of code, I can push it to the AI to write the first 800 for me. And then I simply conclude it with the remaining 200, and I can deliver the work in maybe 2 days instead of 2 weeks, right? So it's a tool to help our life become easier, not a tool to circumvent what we are trying to do as human beings. So I think that's the approach we should look at, and that's the approach we should try to employ.
Yeah, as the truth as may sound and as hard it may be hard for some people to swallow, there may be also the conception of the fact that there are dangers of AI. And can you do a bit of sharing? What has been, what has been those things that you feel that is the danger of it or the disadvantage of it? Because you understand, it will also aid people to start being lazy. I think I can quickly, from what you've led, the emphasis you've led about assisting you, because the moment where one is able to understand the fact that AI can do anything for me, and it might begin to aid, laziness, and sometimes it gives room for humans to start relying on all of that. But basically, what has been your fear of this?
Okay, so when OpenAI first released ChatGPT, people were able to use it to create homemade bombs, right? You can have ChatGPT, okay, how do I create an explosive device with so and so materials in my house? ChatGPT gives you a full chart, tells you, okay, this is how you do it, this is how you go about it. So when that was noticed, right, OpenAI did their best to kind of cut that out of AI's intelligence, right? But definitely AI is in the future, and people that are able to train their own models will be able to do these things. It's not going to be impossible, right? Can tell you how to cheat on your exams, can tell you how to do some nefarious activities, tell you how to write a malware that is going to come and attack your system and they'll steal information. Those are all real possibilities, right? And those are the things that require regulation, because the AI, to be honest, can get really, really intelligent, to the point that it's going to do. Yes. You're not going to have all the information in there. Nobody has as much information as Cloud AI
in all the sectors.
Or Gemini. Nobody has that. Nobody. AI has those information, and you can keep training and fine-tuning a model to become 1,000 times better. The leap between when ChatGPT first came out and GPT-4, GPT-5 is astronomical. It's huge, and it's only going to get better and better and better. In the next couple of years, a lot of things will be indistinguishable. There are AI image creators that can take your picture or take a video of you and now use you to create something else. You can see yourself saying things that you never thought possible. And it's becoming harder and harder to distinguish reality from AI images now and AI videos. It becomes very difficult, and it will get to a point to become nearly impossible. Let's just be honest. To get to that point, there's really not much we can do about it, right? But that's where regulations need to come in, right? There need to be regulations by governing bodies, by unions that say, okay, this is how far this AI is supposed to go. This is what it's supposed to do. And if you are building an AI system, you must put certain fail-safes so that it doesn't go beyond what it's supposed to do.
I'm going to come back to AI, but a bit of the issues of blockchain. When people hear of blockchain, you may mention that it's about finance, it's about Bitcoin and all of that. And this has created some aspect of the fact that many people does not get to unravel what issues of blockchain. I know you've quite led, some introductions to what the product is all about. How is blockchain, advancing, is it like AI? Does it has the same role? Or are they interplaying same role?
Not the same role. It's blockchain. Yeah, it's part of what a lot of people call the fourth industrial revolution, along with robotics and a lot of other technologies, right? But they play very different roles. Blockchain plays in a situation of where human trust is not needed, right? Because a machine is just ones and zeros, and
What is Ponzi scheme under blockchain?
Ponzi scheme can be under anything, right? A lot of people can wake up today and say, okay, I want to create a coin.
That does not exist.
Does not exist or not have any value. That can be done under, but Ponzi scheme is a very wide umbrella that covers not just blockchain or cryptocurrency, because you can't really do Ponzi scheme or you can't really create scams outside of maybe NFTs and cryptocurrencies. That's where the scam starts and that's where it ends, right? So it falls on a lot of us, especially to try to research technologies, research what this blockchain infrastructure is supposed to do, and ensure that it's beneficial to you, right? And not just going to gain access to that technology just for the sake of it, just to test it out. It leads to a lot of people getting burned, a lot of issues happening with people's finances, throwing money into technologies that lead to nowhere, or to systems that have no end.
How about issues of, internet has been sometimes a problem in, advancing all of these. The other time we had fiber is having issues, network and all of that. And then we still find the fact that some of these providers, internet providers, seems to be extorting Nigerians. Data is quite very costly. Now, if you understand the fact that we must begin to encourage digital participation, we understand that we are still finding a large population, of Nigerians still lacking behind and all of these. How is there any other thing that can be done? I think Elon Musk invented one internet service.
Starlink.
Yes, Starlink and all of that. How is this gonna aid technology advancement? Because if data is not cheap, many people will not be able to access all of these. And I wonder how the artificial intelligence is consuming the amount of data it's consuming and all of that. And then when you're back from that, you also mentioned the fact that you will lay emphasis on what are the different AI, because it seems AI is not just about chat GDP, it's not just about some other machines and all of that. It can, what are now some usage that, some of them that you quite have touched, some of them that some of them that you not know, but it's in existence. I want you to lay emphasis on that so people can begin to know and try. Let's get back to the internet issues of data. Data is very
Data is super expensive, right? For the average Nigerian, it's not really easy to gain access to data that you can use to actually learn and to grow yourself, right? But it's only going to get easier, right? Nigeria was the first country in Africa to have access to Starlink, like you mentioned by Elon Musk, right? It's not cheap, right? Between 30,000 or 40,000 a month to subscribe.
That's not just the cost of buying.
Right. And the cost of purchasing it, I think as of last week, was almost 800,000 naira. It's not cheap by any means of, any stretch of the imagination, but it's only going to get better, because as long as we keep having more competition in that space, it's going to get cheaper, it's going to get better.
It's monopoly that is causing these issues.
Basically, the average Nigerian uses a phone to access internet, right? And that phone has a SIM card, right? And that SIM card, we have, I think, 4 telcos in Nigeria. But when it comes to just internet, we have all the fibers, we have the Spectranet, we have the rest of them. So those are not cheap. The cheapest is your SIM card, and good enough. There are some data plans, like I think there's 500 or 600 now for 1 gig, all those kind of things. So, having access to that amount of internet is enough for you to learn and to grow your skill. I really tell people that the best way to financial freedom is to learn a skill, and you have everything, all the power in your hands, in your mobile device. So if there's how you can get 500, 600 naira, get your data and start learning, Eventually, when you have that knowledge, that internet is going to become easier to purchase when you're able to apply those skills in the future.
Begin to earn in dollars.
Exactly. Right. So I think your second question was on
difference.
the different. So basically, AI, like say, artificial intelligence, anything that can be trained to act like a human when it is in fact a machine is AI. Right. I mentioned the video, video AI that can take your pictures or images and use it. There's AI that creates pictures. There's this issue when the whole AI issue started with artists, right? Because there used to be art shows around the world. So, okay, submit your art and then you can win so amount of money. People were using AI art and winning, right? And it became such an issue that the artists were like, okay, what's my duty now? I'm an artist, but an AI is beating me in basically every competition I go to. So what's my role in this world? So, those are other aspects of AI. There is the voice, right? 11 Labs allows you to, basically type and then create any kind of voice you want, right? And you can use that for videos, use that for your games, if you are into game development, whatever else you want to do with it. So it's really vast, right? And it keeps improving as the day goes by. It is one that I saw that I kind of liked. You can just take a picture of your face and then you can apply it, and it gives you different shots that you can use for your profile picture. It will give you a suit, give you...
that one was trending.
Yeah, so those
Nigerians
are using it, right, on their LinkedIn profile, etc. So, it's really vast, and those are things those are the parts of AI that people like, they enjoy. It's fun, it helps you.
But it has more to those things.
Yeah, of course, it
has more to those things. Is this AI helping the fintech industry? Because you understand we are operating on a cashless era where people seem to do a lot of transactions. How is this able to fit into the issues of fintech?
Okay, so for fintech, I mentioned being able to do credit scoring, being able to track spending habits, and you as yourself at the personal level, you can employ an AI that tracks how much you spend, what you spend on, and then at the end of the month, it gives you a comprehensive report, so you can better know how to channel your money properly. You can see at the end of the month you spent maybe ₦1 million on drinks at a bar, and you'll be like, did I spend this much? You can now take a step back and say, okay, I'll probably spend 100,000 this month. Those are the little things that AI helps you do in the financial world. Basically.
All right, we will try to get to know what are the international laws. I mean, what do you feel that can begin to do so that we can checkmate some of this thing? Because if anybody just stays in his room to quit what is actually disrupting the society that we stand now, it must be able to see how we can, away from the national laws, from the national regions, what can now become, issues of international scene. And then also look at the fact that the innovators, when people invent, they have good intentions, but sometimes the usage, has always been a problem. How do we get to find a way of trying to streamline, wrong usage of some of those platforms, not to really harm? Because when you look at the fact that somebody can replace somebody's voice, is a threat. I cannot say something and then somebody put up my face and all of that. So there may be future issue of cyberbullying and all of that. How do you begin to see how we can address that issue? Okay,
so when the whole ChatGPT craze was really heavy when it first came out, people were using it to basically pass exams, pass tests, sending assignments without doing any work. Like you mentioned, it makes people lazy. That was happening a lot. So on the other side, people decided to create an AI tracing system wherein if somebody sends you, this was for professors in university, lecturers, when a student sends their homework or their assignment, you send it through the AI detector, and it detects whether it has been done through AI or not. Right? Those are the kind of systems that can be built, and those kind of systems should be made legal in places wherein human touch is required, and then we try to fool humanity by using AI and all that. So those are the systems that should be invested in, to be created and implemented and made general, and given a role to play in society. Because like you mentioned, having to use someone's face to do nefarious activities, we see it, some of it sounds funny. I was watching a video that I think it was either Biden or Trump that they used, and it was saying something completely out of character, right? Some very crazy stuff. And, it sounds funny, it sounds comical, but it isn't. There will be a point it will be, like I said, indistinguishable. So there should be systems that are invested in that will allow you to, to put any video into it, and it tells you, okay, this is AI, this is not AI. It's being done even as we speak now. But those people building that need additional push, additional assistance from governing bodies and those in power to help them reach that point.
Yeah. All right. We'll now be moving over to opportunities. What opportunities has this created? The technology has moved faster. Many people are going into it. What are the opportunities there? What are opportunities that people are already in? What is coming, for the population that we are having growing in the country today?
Right, so opportunities are, like I said, really vast, really in the part of AI. Yes, blockchain as well, right? Because not everybody can be a blockchain engineer or a blockchain developer, but I believe everybody can be a blockchain founder. Now, the difference between those is that a blockchain founder is the person with the idea, right, but doesn't have the skills to implement, right? You might be a blockchain founder, have a brilliant idea, something that really makes sense and feels a pain point in the world. You can walk up to me or another blockchain and say, okay, this is the idea I have. Let's see how we can build this together. Before you know, you have created a project, created a solution that is able to create 100, 200, 500 jobs, right? So I really tell people, the emphasis should not be on building, technical persons. We should be on building founders that can create businesses out of nothing, right? So that is the idea I see. So in the aspect of blockchain, it gives you so much, advantage to build systems that can be their own economy. Like you said, cryptocurrency can actually create money for people, right? When you create cryptocurrency, the word currency is money, so you can actually create money and can really help the economy to a larger extent, right? And in the aspects of AI, where you have, systems that can, build games, build solutions, someone that is not a technical person can go sit down in the system and say, okay, AI, create this for me. This is what I like. This is the idea I have. You feed the AI with the correct prompts, because one of the issues with AI is that people don't know how to prompt it correctly. And when you prompt it, it doesn't give you what you want. But if you're able to learn how to prompt AI correctly, it can basically build anything you want, even as a layman, right? Tell the AI, okay, I want to build this, and I want this to have this functionality. Is
it prompting about how you are writing?
Yes, how you write it, right? Basically how you type, what you tell it, because you need to approach the AI like a person and say, okay,
that means AI have to know you, like you have to be able to know what you are into and all of that.
No, so this is what happens most times, right? You have to, the AI, when you prompt it, it usually asks you to explain what you want to do. It will ask you some questions which you need to answer. That's the best way to prompt it,
that's
right?
The prompting issue.
Yeah, so when you answer those questions, it's able to understand what you want as a person, able to give you the appropriate responses, right? So once you know how to prompt AI, you can build anything, even as a layman, build gaming solutions, build fintech solutions, whatever the case may be. So all you have to do is know that I've built the technological part out. What now remains is maybe the marketing part, the business parts.
You don't need people to come in
and work with you.
And are there still future things, jobs that will continue to have more abroad? Getting more to open up, for the population?
Yes, most definitely. Like I mentioned, the idea of creating founders, in technology. That's what we need to look into, right? And good enough, for example, here in Nigeria, the governing bodies, SEC, CBN, they have really done a lot to see how to make things easier for the tech enthusiasts, the tech founders that want to go into, especially blockchain technology. They give you a stepping stone and try to regulate in the best possible way. So this has really gone a long way. It opens up so much opportunity for people. You don't need to hide to build something and have fear that, tomorrow there will be a policy that shuts whatever you are building down. It has made things very open and very accessible.
You made mention of creating more founders. Are there products that are universally built by, Africans or Nigerians that can be exported out there?
Yes, there are a lot of tech products. One of the beauties of being Nigerian especially is that we have a lot of brilliant founders, really tech founders. They're able to build technologies that can be pushed publicly.
Finding solutions, solution to out,
Yes, there are a lot of them. The problem that we usually have is that there's a distrust of African technology. First of all, in Africa, because we don't like using our own things. You know, if I build something, I tell you, oh, Mike, come and use this with me. You'll be like, okay, I think there's an alternative that somebody built in the US. So we have that distrust. I think, first of all, we need to start by supporting our own technology, right? And then those that build the technology have it on themselves to build something that works. Because as Africans, Nigerians, sometimes we tend to cut corners. Let's be honest with ourselves, you know, and just build something shabby and just push it to everybody to do.
Will crash and all
crash it, and just it makes it difficult to start gaining back that reputation, right? So it falls on the builders, the engineers to build something good.
And then, try and error.
You have to take your time. So nothing good comes easy, right? You have to take your time and build something robust that the general public will love. And then the more good products come out, the more faith is being given back to the founders here in Nigeria, here in Africa.
Well thought and segment right here with an engineer and a tech expert on the opportunities rivaling, in the technological advancement in Nigeria and Africa. What has always been your thought? What has always been the questions you've had in mind? What has always been your concern about technology? The truth of the fact that it is developing and it keeps on developing every day. So you ought not to stay behind. Before we get to conclude on the program, tell us about the different, we understand that we have hubs in Lagos, in Abuja. How do we begin to expand, some of the centers to encourage startups, to encourage startup people who want to come into the tech space and all of that? How do we begin? Is it about partnering government? Is it about collaboration? What are those things that are very key, to encourage, more people coming into the system? Okay,
so first of all, I really say I believe in collaboration rather than competition, right? If I meet someone that is doing exactly the same thing like me, I'd like to collaborate and say, okay, how can we push this as a solution to make it better? And it's one thing that I believe in the tech ecosystem in Nigeria, there's a lot of collaboration going on. It's really this, over the past 5 years. Before now, it was mostly competition, but now people have seen that the market is big. Basically the sky is the limit. So why not we come together and build something great? I'm focused on the blockchain ecosystem, a little bit of AI in my startup, but I've met people that do something similar. We've been able to collaborate and build something different on our own, right? So without waiting for the government, right? When the government sees that a lot of people have come together, we have Blockchain Nigeria User Group, CBAN, they came together, created a community that the government saw was working, and decided to say, okay, these people know what they are doing. Let's call them in to advise us and tell us how to best create systems that will work in our favor. So I think collaboration is the number one point we're going to look at, and then see how you can get mentors, right? It's a lot of people, I know there is this issue of pride. A lot of people have pride, but nothing is as easy as talking to someone and say, oh, hi, I saw maybe on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram, wherever, oh, I've seen that you're into tech, I would like to learn from you. You can send that to 10, 20 people in a day. There's no way you won't get a response from at least one person. So I really advise aspiring tech enthusiasts, tech builders to try and reach out to get a mentor. Once you have someone that has gone before you and understands what it takes to be a successful founder, it becomes a lot easier.
Engineer Vale Zege is a tech specialist and, of course, and a blockchain expert. Or, of course, our emphasis on the conversions, on the technological advancement that we have in the country. What are you waiting for? The world is moving quite on a speed lane, and it's about technology. So all of these things that he has only laid emphasis on are what to aid us and to aid our life, to aid our day-to-day interaction with the society, because the technology is quite doing a lot of good than harm. So you don't have to have a negative thought towards all of these. On your final note, what are your advice to Nigerians? The people that have had negative thought about blockchain, people have had negative thought about AI, or what is your final word for them tonight?
So my final word is the country is getting better, technology is improving, and I see us in the next couple of years being a powerhouse in technology in the world, globally, not just in Africa. So I want us to be able to work together, collaborate, and I want us to treat ourselves as friends, as family, and ensure that we pass knowledge to each other as much as we can.
Many thanks, Val, for your time and your thoughts tonight on the show. We deeply appreciate you for coming to join us on the conversations, and we do hope that you've actually gotten one or two things out of the conversations on the importance of technology, the issue of blockchain and artificial intelligence. That's the package on Big Talk tonight. See you again tomorrow. I remain Dick and Michael. Bye-bye for now.